artist manager, speaker, that type of deal. But most importantly, I'm just a music business consultant. You can find me on social media at Durell Peart. And if you actually if you like what you heard today and want to connect with me, you can actually go to textdurell.com. That's TXT, Durell, DURELL.com. Go ahead and leave your phone number there, and I'll text you back, and we can correspond that way. And like you said, you can find me on all social platforms at Durell Peart. And let's connect and see if there's a way for me to help you if you're an artist listening to this show today, and yeah, that's the best way to connect with me on social.
Fantastic. And if you forget or can't get in touch with him, you can always contact me at david@TheDavidBowers.com, and I'll make sure you get in touch with him. Durell Peart, we are so happy that you came and shared with us today. Look forward to having you back here again in the new year. Have a great holiday, and our sincere thanks one more time.
David, thank you so much for having me. And hey, it's the power of the internet that we're able to discover each other. And I'll be here anytime you guys want me back. I'm here.
We appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, Durell Peart. And since this show is all about the music and the people who make it, I think it's time that we actually get to the music now. And here they are with the title track from their brand new album, The Universe Inside. These are the Madisons.
Thought you were gone. You came back. I thought I'd caught the thought you sent me. You came back, and now you're here in the universe inside. I tried to walk on, I held back. I thought I'd lost the thought you sent me. You came back, and now you're here in the universe inside. Get it, did you get it? Love, did you let it be? Get it, did you get it? Love, did you let it be? Thought you were gone, you came back. Now you're here in the universe inside. You came back. Now you're here in the universe inside. Get it, did you get it? Love, did you let it be? Give it, did you get it? Love, did you let it be? Thought you were gone, you came back, and now you're here in the universe inside.
And there you go. the Madisons. That's from their brand new release, The Universe Inside. And here is Maggie to come and talk to us about the Madisons and this great new album. Maggie, come on board and say hello. I'm sorry, Lizzie.
No
it's
worries.
been one of those
Hello.
days, folks.
Hey,
My
that's
apologies, Lizzie. Welcome aboard.
Good evening, John. Good evening, David. It's nice to be here, and thank you for having me.
Hey, our pleasure, and my apologies for messing up your name there.
That's me. I do that all the time. No worries. That isn't like my fear is that I'm supposed to introduce people and then I'm going to get their names wrong. I totally hang up on that. So
which I just did. So hey, what the heck?
When I'm doing an interview, I'm sitting there writing down people's names, including Durell, because I found his interview to be very interesting as well.
Yeah.
So a pencil and paper is always, the pen is mightier than the sword, but the pencil is even mightier because it has an eraser.
It has an eraser, absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Talk to us about this universe inside. This gives me the feeling that there's definitely it's a concept, it's a theme type thing. What have we got here?
Well, this album, it was created by the trio that is now the Madisons. We've been a large band at times of 5 or 6 pieces. In our current state, we are 3 because of the pandemic and everything else. But I'm very fortunate because the rhythm section that I became a part of with the Madisons predates me by many bands. I felt arrogant enough to try to lift them from a really good band that I saw in Houston, and I was successful enough. But the bass player and drummer have been together for many, many years. And we decided to be really brave and record this album about tomorrow as a 3-piece. We recorded it live as we normally do, old school style. Mm-hmm. And it's just the 3 of us in a room with the sympathetic frequencies of everything bleeding in everybody's mics and everything else. But that's how they used to do recordings, and that's, I feel, a really great way to there's a lot of great things you can do. And I came up in the digital age. I started at a studio called Digital Services when I was 17 years old. And I came in as an intern, and as I left there, I was a senior engineer and I was the house composer. But what I learned along the way was that anything might come through the door. It could be Destiny's Child when they were a 4-piece, and this is in Houston. It could be the Ghetto Boys. It could be a jingle that you have to write for some commercial. It could be some gospel thing or whatever. You just didn't know what was going to come through the door next. So you had to be ready, and you had to try to bring your best stuff to that environment. And when it's work for hire, that's what I was. I was work for hire, and I worked for many artists over the years. I became an engineer for ZZ Top, and I worked with them for about 17 years.
Oh.
But what I really learned along the way was trying to accommodate what the artist needed, because I was truly a backing musician or backing vocalist or whatever the thing was. But I was there to serve. I wasn't there to be the main artist. Mm-hmm. And I think the best lessons that I got about that was when I was a waitress as a young person. I was a waitress at a Denny's, and you could either serve nicely or you could serve not nicely, and your tips would show. Mm-hmm. And it's not that hard to be nice. You just be nice. You try to get it right, and you be nice. It's really not that hard. I don't know if you've ever been served by a waiter or waitress that does not love their job.
Oh, yes.
Like they're cross to bear that they're
only a few times.
and then you realize that, wow, like, okay, they need to learn some lesson that they haven't learned. But luckily I learned it early. You know, you just try to be nice. You just try to get it right, and you take care of the person. It came in handy when I became a mommy, too. I won't lie, because, like, if you think it's hard serving rock stars, wait till you serve children, and then you, like, really get a, like...
Yeah, that's a good question. Which is harder, the rock star or the child? And sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
Totally. Like, if they only want, like, one color of something or whatever the thing is. Yeah. So,
John Bon Jovi.
Yeah. So you try to take care of them. You try to figure out what they want, and you do that. And then it was different when I stepped into the so-called spotlight. One night I was with a girlfriend of mine. She was at this blues jam in Houston, Texas, at a place called the Big Easy. And it wasn't an open mic. This is very different when you talk about a blues jam. Blues jam is like anybody could show up, but they're all musicians, and you get thrown together. You don't know what you're going to play. But it's not somebody's song who's just sitting there strumming it on it. It's you're doing it together. It's a real-time thing. You don't know what's going to happen. It could be amazing. It could be terrible. But it's always exciting what you have in a true jam. And a jam happens when you have like a house band that can back up whoever comes up, or you got good rotating players that can get up. And I've seen horn sections where there's older cats and they're training the younger people how to do those triads or whatever. Sure. Yep. And beautiful stuff that happens. Learning to do a song. Like for me, it was when I was going to do this Billie Holiday song, and I realized if I did it in B flat that the horn players could play along with me. So I'm like, great, let's do this. And it turned out that there were some legendary horn players that got up with me that night because of the key. They heard it, and they went and grabbed their road cases and got out. And I didn't know, because as a composer, I might do something in C or F or whatever, but E flat or B flat, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Where they were like, please, can I be next? Where there was this like a flotilla of incredible horn players that went up one after another and took solos. So for me as a musician, especially as a female, because I came up as an engineer, there was no one there to help me. There were no other female engineers. There was very few other people in the industry that I could look up to. But what I knew is that I had to help musicians, and especially females, if they were interested in music or engineering of music, that I had to help them. So I became a mentor through a high school program in Texas. Beautiful. I did that for about 6 years. And I taught the recording art. And there would be a roster. Whoever wanted to sign up for my class could. It was after school, like for juniors and seniors, where they would show up at my studio after, and they could go to whatever they wanted to. They could go to a dentist office or a lawyer's or, whatever they want. Sure. So a bunch of people would sign up. Like I would maybe get 50 or 70 kids that would sign up. I would automatically take all of the females, and I'm not trying to be sexist, but us girls, when we're growing up, we don't have that cool dude friend that's got a guitar and a Fender amp and they know how to play and do stuff. We don't. And so I had to try to give them a leg up and try to help because I didn't have that. Engineers I came up when we were still cutting tape and we would splice with tape, right? And so I learned from the great engineers how to do that skill. Oh, yeah. But quickly, I remember it well. and then quickly it was flipping over to digital, where we were doing this all